Not all muscle fibers are created equal. If you've ever wondered why different athletes and different people train have different muscular builds, stay tuned for this mini podcast. So something I want to get into is different muscle types and different muscle fiber types. And essentially you have three. And actually what's interesting is everybody's born with these three essential muscle fiber types, or muscle types, if you will. What changes the difference is the amount of training and activity engaged in that essentially utilizes or uses these different muscle types. And what the three are is you have type 1, type 2, and type 2X. Type 1 is your slow twitch fibers. You're going to see that in athletes like cross-country runners, triathletes, distance swimmers, cyclists, anyone doing endurance sports, essentially. Those slow twitch fibers are going to be lasting with more energy over time, going to definitely be used over longer periods, definitely not as explosive, more endurance, more stamina, and stamina can kind of go both ways, but that's generally what you're going to see in type 1 fibers. They're not going to fatigue as easy as the other types. And then you have type 2 fibers, which you might see in your more typical athletes, maybe definitely in weightlifters. They're going to have type 2X as well. Baseball players, basketball players, or wrestlers, the likes. In your mainstream athletes, for sure, the main muscle training used is going to be those type 2. And what those essentially are going to be is those stronger kind of strength muscles that you're going to use that will kind of wear out in a shorter period of time. But there is a sense of stamina to them where you're not going to like instantly exhaust those muscle fibers. But they have to be built up a lot more, say in a sprinter versus a runner versus a distance runner. So you're going to have more muscle mass, larger quads and things like that. And you think, well, one person's, they're both running, right? But they train completely differently. And so the muscles that they train, that athlete focuses on during their strength training, their sports training, whatever it is, it's a different approach, and they're actually focusing on their muscles or on different muscle fibers in a different way. And so the way that you train those basically trains those muscle groups, those muscle fibers. And then the last group is your type 2X fibers. Those are your explosive muscle fibers. So going back to weightlifters, probably CrossFitters, gymnasts for sure. Anything that's explosive, that's just instant, really, really short period of time. When we talk about guys doing snatches, big heavy squats, power cleans, things like that. When we look at Olympic sports, doing pole vaulting and things like that, and high jump. So those are going to be your explosive muscle fibers that are probably used the least, but are obviously the most powerful, but they're probably some of the hardest to train. So again, it's going to come down to training style, what engages those muscles, those muscle fibers and groups, and then what are activated the most, which again comes down to style of like sports training and also style of your strength training regimen that supports that. If you're not an athlete and you're just trying to work out and get fit, because I know a lot of these references were to athletes, and that's just an easy picture to paint. But if you're not an athlete and you're wondering, okay, what do I do? What do I train? How do I know, what to focus on? Just look at your goal. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Are you training for running? Are you trying to train for a 5K, 10K? Are you doing a race? If that's your case, then yeah, train for that. And that's going to go ahead and activate, those type 1 fibers, your slow twitch versus fast twitch, your 2 and your 2X. And then if you're looking to just build muscle mass, then you want to engage with a higher weight, do that progressive overload. You got to challenge your muscles. You got to up the weights. You got to keep your muscles guessing. And that's going to start to bring in those type 2. If you just go really live, you do really high rep, and you're kind of doing the same thing over and over, you're just going to kind of maintain or just building those type 1 fibers. And to an extent, some studies have shown they're the muscle fibers don't really evolve per se, but they can kind of grow and get stronger. And so you can kind of increase the amount of type 2 fibers that, say, if you're doing a lot of type 1 training, but then you start doing more training to kind of wake up more type 2 fibers, you're going to grow those type 2 fibers as well, and just kind of activate them that you didn't know you had them, or you didn't realize they were there. So there's been kind of, I'll wrap it up with this, there's been kind of two schools of thought. And the first school says that, or kind of maybe a little bit of an older thought was, hey, some people are just born with more type 2, just get more muscular, and that's just kind of natural, genetic, hereditary type thing. And that was thought to be true for a while. And then there's a lot of more studies recently that have gone to show that actually that's not true, that actually everyone has proportionally the same kind of mix or spread of each different muscle fiber type, and that it just comes down to training style, commitment, and everything like that. So essentially you can engage and wake up and train and grow all these different muscle fibers, no matter kind of what you're coming from. So that the theory would be that any body type, any person from any background, whatever it is, runners or non-athletes or weightlifters, that you essentially could train to have that muscle physique and that muscle build. So that's just something to take into consideration. Don't count yourself out. Some people have a little more natural ability to build muscle faster and in different ways, but essentially everyone has that ability, and it's all there. So anyways, just want to throw that at you guys today. Hope that's helpful. And then, just keep looking for more mini casts coming out. Check out my website at alcfitness.com. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and just be watching for more of these videos to come out. Oh, and check it out on YouTube as well. We'll be talking to you guys later.